What is going on, my YouTube family? It is your boy Zary from the XMG, and I am late again. Saturday night. You won't be seeing this till probably Sunday morning. Just, you guys know me. Work has been absolutely insane, and I am just exhausted. And I've had a lot of people ask my thoughts and feelings on these patch notes, so I'm sure you probably heard them, I'm sure you've probably read them, but we're going to go over them together. I'm going to show you footage from the test server, which we are allowed to show, but you need to remember, everything here is subject to change, including looks, payouts, anything you see that I show you could change. But if you're just finding me for the first time, and you're liking what you're seeing, click that subscribe button, turn on notifications, like videos, share them with your guildmates, leave me a comment, tell me you agree with me, tell me you disagree with me, let's talk. In the description down below, there's a link to Discord. Come over there, join us, we have some really good conversations. I try to get in there at least once a day and respond to some questions and things like that. So if you want to, it's over there. So let's jump into the patch notes, and we're going to try to make this as quick and painless as we possibly can. Alright, so here we are. Update, we are on their Facebook page. It says update 1.3.0. Lots of content coming next week. Greetings, champions. It's almost here. The big content update is coming to the stores next week. We are happy to present to you the reworked battlegrounds, new tournaments, new gear levels and items, as well as new heroes, plus rebalanced old ones, improved and more precise power calculation formula. And that's not all. September 30th is our 1-year anniversary, so you are welcome to take part in a special tournament, special event, and treat yourself to presents. We have also planned a surprise, so please stay tuned. I don't know what the surprise is. I have no idea, but I'm hoping it's something really cool. So what's new? We've already talked about Battlegrounds. We don't need to get into that. Reworked tournaments. And now I'm going to jump over to the test server, and you are going to see how the structure for the tournaments kind of work. Now, this is your reworked tournament. Alright, so if you are rank 1 through 8, this is kind of, doesn't really change too much, except for some gear pieces. So, again, these are subject to change. We don't really know much about that, but pretty nifty stuff. So that's interesting as well. Then, as you can see here, we have our Zelnar shards. Okay. Now I'm on my gear account, so when you see Zelnar, you're gonna notice he's gear level 1 and things like that. But that is your stage rewards. So if you go to stage rewards, this is where Blitz mode comes in. You get 100 points. You'll get a Wonder Lua shard. You'll get a tournament token, and you'll get gold. Stage 2, so on, so on. Stage 4. Stage 7 is when you start getting Zelnar tokens, and all the way through stage 10. And that's 4,000 points, so you're going to have to grind out 4,000 points, and that's how it works. So, I kind of like the way that that's sitting. It's completely on you. If you want to grind out the stage 10 to get the most Zelnar shards you can get, that's fine. It's like I said before, this is a lot like Blitz mode, and I'm perfectly okay with that. I have no problem with this system whatsoever, and I don't think really anybody should too. So, some of the discussion was, oh, they should give us more shards and things like that, and I don't think that's the case at all. I think 1 to 5 shards per tournament, it makes you, everybody wants to get the character, I should say, but nobody wants to have them unlocked in a day, and after 10 tournaments, then what the hell's the point of running tournaments? So I'm perfectly fine with that one. Moving on. New hero, Zelnar. Clans, Orc, Fighter, Mage. Available exclusively from the new tournaments, which we just talked about. So let's just go over and jump over and check out Zelnar. And I'm not going to get too much into him because I want to save a lot of it for my noob series. So let's jump over to Zelnar here. And you can kind of see he is really cool design to him. So let's jump over there. Alright, so there is Zelnar. He is an orc fighter and a mage. Pretty awesome design. I really think the artwork in this game since day one has gone through the roof. So there he is in all of his glory for everybody to see. And like I said, I'm going to go over his move kit and all that stuff in the noobs video. So the next thing on the list here is new achievements, rewards, and rewards for them. They have been added to the game. Perhaps you have already unlocked some, so don't forget to pick up your cool rewards. Now, as far as that is concerned, I don't think anybody should be upset about that or really have anything to knock. I think it's going to be more free stuff is more free stuff. I'm pretty excited about that. You know, and as we jump over here, you can see there is, you know, launch the game, complete Runic journey, collect 31 heroes, and you're getting shards and XP keys. And again, this is all subject to change. Spend gold, collect artifacts, collect, you know, General Murdoch, little baddie. So I really, there's a lot of stuff in here. Make an in-app purchase, collect season rewards one time, collect last season's premiere reward one time, reach guild 1, reach raid spot 1. So there is a lot of stuff in here. So pretty cool, and free rewards are free rewards. New power calculation formula. Worry not, we did not change hero stats, but we did change the formula of how total power is calculated, and now it demonstrates heroes' actual power with more precision. Now this one's kind of hard to show on the test server because I don't really know what the power level was on somebody, but what they're trying to do is, especially when it comes to tournaments and getting you in the right tournament shard and getting you into the right tower battles or battleground battles, this is just a way for them to calculate it. I'm fine with this tweaking. I know some people are really high on their overall total power, and if it drops a little bit on mine, I really don't care. I want the matchmaking to be better, so I'm okay with that one. Added 2 more slots for artifact keys and artifact key upgrades in the Star Shop. Now, the Star Shop had the artifact keys for us to view, and if we jump over, there they are. And you know, people ask me how I felt about the pricing on this, and the pricing is pretty damn steep. But you know what? On my main, I have like 30,000 Star Shop currency, which I'd buy gear from. I understand that, but I mean, buying a chest for 5,000. If I need a chest, 5,000 is okay with me. I have no problem with actually the pricing in there. They are pretty high when you think about it, but the ability to buy a full chest for 5,000, if it stays that way, perfectly fine with me, because what else am I going to do with it? I mean, I can buy gear pieces, which is fine, but I can also go in and just buy the whole tower store and come pretty close to any gear piece I want to buy. So 5,000 for one full chest is pretty good. I'm not going to complain too much about that. Alright, next one up. The new special event, Runic Knowledge, that'll help you get to know more about runes, and will bring you some sweet rewards as well. So this one here, the Runic knowledge under special events, I mean, I guess it's they're really trying to get more and more people into the game. I mean, it looks like to be like a tutorial through that, you know, and the more tutorials in a game, the better, because there isn't really a way for people to learn runes unless they watch like mine or Bones or Starko's videos. So fine. I mean, you want to see what it looks like, we can jump over here. Runic knowledge, rune, level up runes 16 times, 30 times. Runic campaign, rune word collections, full amulets, and various stats. So just a way to pick up some extra rewards. I mean, if you already know what you're doing there, then just free rewards for you. So again, perfectly fine with that. Let me bump up the screen a little bit. All right. Updated the rewards for complete all daily quests. Now players of level 60 and above will receive 50 artifact keys instead of 5 Corcorum shards. Awesome. I'll take 50 artifact keys over 5 Corcorum shards all freaking day. So, yep. Perfectly fine with that. New gear items. Each hero can equip 5 or more items on gear 11. And there are 20 new legendary items that can be found in the campaign. Guild raid tier 8, tournaments at level 80, some events, and special gear 11 chests and special shops that refresh once a week. No additional refreshes available. Perfect. Fine with that. Now, there's been some contention on how, I guess, should they do this? Is it too early to have a gear 11 or 12? And the way I look at it is that it's more of like a gear 11 plus. So we're not really going to gear 12. In a matter of fact, I mean, I have zero problem with the way they're doing it, because the game's got to progress. There's got to be more of a skill level involved. And say they launch the Goblin raid, to make it more difficult, the enemies got to hit harder. If the enemies don't hit harder, or if they hit harder, we're going to die faster. There's not enough players in the game to complete it. So, I mean, you got to eventually bump your gear level up, and I'm almost to the point where I have a lot of the characters gear 11 already, so this will give me something to continually work on. I really don't have much of a problem with this, or how it flows, or what it does. I think, you know, they're giving us multiple ways to find these pieces, including the campaign. We have the raid, there's tournaments, there's a shop, for goodness sake. So we can jump over and take a look at that shop. Oh, this is Garrett before we get to the shop. And as you can see here, regular, you know, gear piece, gear piece, gear piece. These are where this is what stops you from going to gear level 12. Unknown future item. And then these are what we're looking for. And there are those spheres. So, you know, I mean, it's a way to put more stats on. So, I'm okay with it. Then here's our legend shop. We have the sphere, drop coins, lots of drop coin purchases. And you know what? It should be drop coins. There should not be another currency in this game for gear pieces. We have to buy gear pieces, pretty much full gear pieces, with the drop coins anyways. So I have zero problem with drop coins being in here. And they should be expensive. Maybe that's just me, but that's the way I think. And I think if it stays the way this is, perfectly fine with it. 100%. 1 year anniversary celebration begins September 30th. Take part in special tournament, event, collect rewards, and get ready for a surprise. Oh, okay, cool. I'm in. Let's do it. Season of Nature begins October 1st with a new hero, Titania, Order Elf Defender, available for Seasons of Nature and special chests. The lane has also received a new model. And before we jump into Titania, I'm going to jump over and show you the Thelane model. And I love it. I love the way she looks. She's more in line with the rest of the elves. She still has that dark feel to her. I love her face. I think it's awesome. I just think it's awesome. I like the rework quite a bit, and maybe I'm in the minority there, but I just think it's really good. And we'll jump over to Titania here. Here is Titania. She reminds me of like the Wonder Woman movies, the Valkyries. She reminds me of kind of like that. Kind of like Hilda vibe. I like the small shield with the stag on it. So there's her character model in all of her glory. And they reworked the elves, which we'll get into, and we'll kind of go over that when we get into it. But, the Titania model, kind of, the green elf, she doesn't blow me away as much as Zelnar does. So, at least look-wise. But hey, another elf. Calvin is kind of a crappy tank to begin with, so I think she's going to bring a little bit more to the table. And bump it up again. Bug fixes. You are now able to open a chest that expire if you have keys for it. Season chests, race events, and I think that is awesome. That is a huge fix. They should have definitely done that, because if you had extra keys, they take the chest away. What are you going to do with those keys? They just sit there. It really doesn't. That was really kind of crappy. We couldn't do that before. I didn't even really realize you couldn't do that. So I'm glad they fixed it. Balance changes. In this update, we not only want to introduce some new content, but touch on some balancing issues as well. We followed your feedback about buff and the current meta of the game. Like you, we really want to bring a meta diversity back, as well as give those who don't have buff a chance against the current arena meta teams. So let me stop there for a minute. This was a debated subject on the Discord, and anybody who's watched my channel for quite some time know that I felt buff was way too strong. But when they released him, he should have been nerfed long before he was released. I gave the feedback he was going to break the game, and he did. I mean, he was a broken character. Now, with that being said, should people who don't have buff, should they nerf him so that people who don't have buff have a better chance against him? No. No. But do I want diversity in the meta? Absolutely I do. But people who have buff should be able to use buff. But the buff meta, the only thing I can compare it to is Star Wars Galaxy Heroes Jedi Knight Revan. Just boring fights. RNG dependent. Just so damn boring. So I want diversity in the meta, but I don't want buff to be nerfed so hard that anybody can beat him. But playing Battlegrounds, this is an issue. Battleground victories could come down to buff, which is RNG. So they need to have different teams be able to beat him. It's still going to be stronger teams, but what they did to him is a good start. Everybody's freaking out, and it really doesn't change him that much. The speed decrease, he shouldn't have had 30 speed. I've said it, and you can yell at me, and I did. I mean, we had some good discussions. There's been some good ideas about maybe he gives you a speed boost to a certain cap. Possibly. You know, it makes a lot of sense. It's not a bad idea. You know, so there's stuff like that we talk about on the Discord. So again, the link's in the description down below. But I felt that buff should have been nerfed before he was even launched. So I know people don't like that when I say that, because people feel legendary should be legendary, and I feel the same way, but buff was broken. There's a difference between broken and legendary, in my opinion. That's why we are introducing some more balance changes to buff, as well as tweaks to some good old heroes in the elf faction. This way the elves can be another cool synergistic team for Battlegrounds. We can't wait to see what team compositions you come up with after these changes. We hope to see a lot of new builds in the arena, Battlegrounds, and beyond. I don't think these changes to buff are going to change the meta all that much. I feel it's going to come down to runes, which is the way usually any mirror match should come down to, not down to RNG. But we'll see where it goes. So taking a look at buff here, dice throw. The big change to dice throw is that ability block was for 2 turns, now it's 1. Okay. And then his leadership ability increases the speed of all allied demons by 15. Used to be 30. And their tenacity, 30%, all of that doesn't change. Decreasing his speed makes it more of a rune game than it makes it more of an RNG game. Somebody with, I mean, runes always helped. It doesn't matter, you know. But the fact of the matter is, if your runes were pretty subpar to that of your opponent, you still had a chance because you're getting 30 speed. 15 speed, I'm okay with that. I know I'm in the minority of a lot of people, but again, I feel a nerf to buff was needed long before he even came out. So, yeah, that's about enough about buff, and if you want to continue the conversation, jump into my Discord. Aurelia, Star Orb. Deals 350 magic damage to an enemy. Heals the ally with the lowest health by 145 of Aurelia's magic damage. Upon landing a critical hit, applies 2 stacks of regeneration to the ally for 2 turns. Used to be heals the ally with the lowest health by 50% of the damage dealt. And we're going to kind of go over all of these before we talk about these reworks. Force of Nature increases magic damage by 25%, an additional 5% for each living elf in the party. If Thalia is on the battlefield, she receives the same buff. Okay. Singeal, Sunshine, deals 190% to magic damage to an enemy, inflicts blindness for 1 turn. Used to inflict burning. This is one of my favorites. Why the hell did Singeal put burning? Perfect. Blindness. That's a lot better. A whole lot better. Especially on a basic ability. Nature's Wisdom, his passive ability, increases magic damage by 10% for each stack of regeneration on allies. If Thalia is an ally at the end of the turn, Singeal applies regeneration to her for 3 turns. Nightiel, Invoking the Moon, leadership ability. The accuracy of all elves is increased by 20%. They have a 20% chance to remove 1 buff for each living mage or healer in the party. Removes 2 buffs instead of on a critical hit. Oh, instead on a critical hit, not of a critical hit. Used to be upon landing a critical hit, allies recover 10% of their max health, and upon landing a fatal blow, allied elves recover 25% of their max health. Okay, so we have some debuffs flying around. So yeah, we're debuffing and we're increasing accuracy. Thalia, Woodland Might passive ability, increases magic damage by 20%. When the battle starts, Thalia receives 1 regeneration for 2 turns for each defender or healer in the party. If Singeal is an ally, 100% of healing from regeneration above maximum health will be converted to shield. Used to be if Aurelia is an ally, Phalia's magic damage increased by additional 5 and then Singeal. So, before we get to Thanisa, here's my problem with the elf rework. You need Phalia. I mean, I don't have Phalia even close to 7-star or up and running because she's so hard to get. This rework would have been better for me if they said Phalia is now available in the tower shop. Phalia is now available in the arena store or the star shop. She's stuck in her tournament shop, I think it is, right? Let me go take a look real quick. Yeah, tournament. She's stuck in tournament shop. It's so hard to farm out of there. You're making this character a must, pretty much, for this new synergy to really have effect. And she's still in the tournament shop. Ugh. So, great. You've reworked elves to have synergy. And the synergy doesn't sound bad. They're going more to like a regeneration. You're converting stuff to shield. Great. Great. Defenders and stats still suck on them. And the key component to this, you can maybe get 10 shards a week. I think people need to come out of the tournament shop. I said it 1,000 times. That's so frustrating to me. Yeah. I don't know what else to say about that. It's just everything comes down for this rework really to Phalia. Added synergy to Phalia. Added synergy to Phalia. It's still going to take you forever to get Phalia. And she's been out 8 months. Get her out of the tournament shop. Put her into a shop or a node where she can be farmed more easy. And rotate in a new character into the tournament shop. That's frustrating to me. Anyways, Thanisa. I guess I before I get to Thanisa, I should really go over. The stats don't change. Now, I don't know what the Gear 11 Plus is going to do to the stats of Singeal, Aurelia. I honestly, I have not had time to dig into that to see what the stat changes are. And so I'm kind of holding my tongue on that one a little bit, but if Singeal's still going to get one-shotted, the rework really means nothing, in all honesty. When I saw that, I got pretty excited, but the more and more I think about it, the more and more I really can't get excited about it until I see the rework stats, and hopefully the surprise is they come out with a character rotation. That would be the best surprise I could ask for. Thanisa deals 200% of magical damage to an enemy, poisons the target for 1 turn. Used to be 2 stacks of poison. Alright, I dig that. I dig that. Maybe they're learning from the buff mistakes and actually testing characters. And I know they were testing them before, so I shouldn't say actually. But I like the fact that when characters aren't released yet, they're trying them, tweaking them, because buff was broken. So, yeah. New heroes, Zelnar. We went over Zelnar, and you saw Zelnar. Element Strikes deals 280 magic damage to an enemy, deals an additional 25% magic damage for each living totem in the party. So he drops these like totems. He's so reminiscent of a shaman from World of Warcraft. Think about it like that. The more totems you put down, the more stuff you can do. And then he has Chain Lightning. Deals 220 magic damage to an enemy, then change to 4 random enemies, dealing 200, 180, 160, 140, much like Mortha's healing. A 50% chance to inflict a tenacity decrease for 2 turns, 25% chance to repeat this attack. I like that a lot. I like the repeat attack. Totem of the Day. Summons one random air, earth, fire, and water totem with 50% health, 50% shield, and 60% of Zelnar's damage. The totem gains 100% turn meter. Only one totem of each element can be summoned at a time. If Mor'Doom and Korador are in the party, summons one more random totem. So this, I gotta ask for some clarification on, because if he only summons one random totem of air, earth, fire, and water, but he can only have one of them up at a time, is there a Mor'Doom totem? Is there a Korador totem? And I have not asked that. I have not had time. So when I find that answer out, I'll let everybody know. Shamanic Wisdom increases health, shield, armor, critical chance, critical damage, and speed by 10%. If Mor'Doom and Korador are on the battlefield, they receive the same buffs. Interesting, you know. I like this as a little different mechanics. It's trying to get other characters involved like Korador and Mor'Doom, who are frankly not very good. So, interesting. Titania. Basic ability is Blood Spear, deals 220 physical damage to an enemy, gains dodge increase for 1 turn, inflicts bleeding for 2 turns upon landing a critical hit, deals 330 physical damage to an enemy. Oh, jumping ahead. So, what we're looking at is Blood Spear is she gains a dodge increase for 1 turn on a basic. It's pretty solid. Inflicts bleeding for 2 turns upon landing a critical hit. So, bleed teams, we kind of got your tank, you know. Pretty happy about that. Wild Hunt deals 330 physical damage to an enemy, 20% chance for each living elf in the party to call a random elf to assist. If the target is bleeding, applies an ability block for 2 turns. That move right there is interesting. Titania has a lot more plug-and-play viability off of paper. Like I said, I'm not going to get into it too much, but reading paper, she has more plug-and-play viability, and my head starts to go with her more than Zelnar of things you could do with her. Ability block, though. Everybody loves ability block. Bait removes 1 debuff from herself. Allied healers and mages gains taunt, cheat death, and counterattack for 2 turns. And it can be done right away. So she can put up her taunt right away. Taunt, cheat death, and counterattack. Then she can put dodge increase on her basic. And then bleeding. So that's very Tromgar-esque kind of move kit here for her taunting ability. Guardian of the Grove increases dodge by 5% for each living healer or mage in the party. Twice more for elf healers and mages. If there is no taunt on Titania, then every time an allied healer or mage takes damage, she recovers 5% of her turn meter. Twice more for elf healers and elf mages. So she goes better with mages and healers, which excludes like Wonder Lua, but you have Thalia again in there. You have Nightiel. So interesting. So she's going to gain her turn meter as you attack the other characters to hopefully get that taunt back up. Very interesting mechanic. And yeah, there is the patch notes, and this has been a long video, so I apologize for that. But there are some lot of good things in here, and there's some things that frustrate me. Mainly that is the Thalia thing. I've loved Thalia from the beginning. I'm not saying Thalia is a bad character. I just wish we could farm her more easily and get her up and running so we could enjoy these reworks. And yeah, maybe it gives you something to work for, and if you have Thalia out there, good for you. But the amount of characters at the tournament shop, somebody might have started with Rin the Unseen. Somebody might have went to Boris for the buff event, like I did. I still don't have him 7-star. So, frustrating. Just that part's frustrating to me. But everything else, I don't mind the buff nerf, because I really don't think it changes his viability all that much, but it's needed. Because if battleground victories are going to come down to RNG on buff, so many people are going to get upset and pissed off about it. Right? Then, you know, we had the all the free stuff and the changes in the beginning. Power calculation, again, no problem with that. New achievements and rewards, Runic knowledge thing, perfect. Oh, hit my mic. Give me all the rewards. I'll take all free rewards from just doing stuff I was going to do anyways. The 50 artifact keys for completing all daily quests. Excuse me. At level 60 or over. That is huge. That is a huge one. So well done to the devs on that. Gear 11 plus. I'm not ready to say Gear 12 yet. Gear 11 plus. Perfect. Let's start that progression now. Instead of waiting for, here's a new goblin raid, here's Gear 12, here's Gear 13, whatever it might be, then everyone's going to get upset. Like, oh, how am I supposed to do the new goblin raid when we don't have the gear to do it? Well, this way they're slowly progressing us up there. I'm okay with that. 100%. And then I'm really looking forward to the 1 year anniversary. You know, I really, really hope that Battlegrounds comes out. People like it. We stop the bleeding of characters in this, or players in this game, and people start having fun again. So much discussion in, you know, in my Discord, and I see it in a lot of places. It's just frustration of people just want to get back to playing the game and having it be fun again. And I think we're on the way. And I've said before, Battlegrounds comes out, everybody. That was a huge setback for the dev team. It had to be. They had to pretty much rebuild, reprogram this whole thing, and they did it relatively fast, and it's pretty damn polished for what they did. So I think we're going to start seeing a more steady flow of things to do, new things in the game, etc. So let me know in the comments below what you think of the patch, what you think about all this stuff that's going on. So that is all I got for everybody today. This has been super long, and it is going to probably be released on Sunday, so everybody enjoy your Sunday. It is my son's birthday, so we're going to have some family celebration with some football on and stuff like that. So I love y'all. My XMG family members, you know I love you. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Let's grow this channel. It means the world to me. So, love y'all. See you in the next one. I'm out.